This big old bag is full of yarn and it only cost me $10. Let me show you everything I got and tell you where I got it from. Hello you guys and welcome back to my channel. My name is Taylor. I'm the founder and designer of NYGC by Taylor, or Not Your Grandma's Crochet. And you heard me correctly. This big Whole Foods bag is full of yarn and it only cost me $10. Now, you may be hearing that and seeing the yarn around me and thinking to yourself, Taylor, didn't you mention that you're low-key on like a yarn low buy? Didn't you say that you're only going to buy yarn if you need it for orders or to complete a project that you're actively working on? Why, yes. However, a few years ago, I became aware of this concept of like a creative reuse store where in different cities around America, there are these basically like thrift stores for crafting supplies. And so it's been like something that's like thumped me on the brain every now and then, and maybe like December of 2024 I became aware of one that's actually here in Atlanta, Georgia. They have two locations, one here in Atlanta and one in Tucker, Georgia. It's called Scraplanta, and like I said, they're a creative reuse store. So if you're in Atlanta, as you will see, check them out. But if you are in other states, definitely search in like Google Maps or whatever and see if you have any creative reuse stores near you. I know some people in some states luck up and their regular thrift stores have really good yarn sections, but here in Atlanta and even the places that I've looked in Georgia period, they don't often times have much to any yarn in the actual thrift store. So finding a place that's dedicated to crafting in general, but they did have a large section of yarn, was really fascinating. Just to talk a little bit more about Scraplanta before I actually show you what I got, it's in this, at least the one in Atlanta, which is in Adair Park. It's in this building called Create ATL, which is kind of like a co-working space for creatives essentially. And if you walk all the way to the back, that's where the Scraplanta section is. Not only does Scraplanta have this creative reuse store, but they also put on free shops and workshops and different things to like teach people in the community how to do different crafts, knitting, crocheting, sewing, bookbinding, literally so many different crafts. And like I said, all those workshops, from what I'm aware of, are free, and the people who run them are based on a volunteer basis, which I think is really cool. Now alongside that, they have the creative reuse store, which is a kind of like smaller, I would say it's like no bigger than like your typical bedroom. It's on the smaller side, but it is packed to the brim full of fabric, different notions for sewing. They had a lot of different needlepoint and embroidery things. They had a nice little section of yarn, lots of like odds and ends, so like beads and buttons. They even had a lot of like painting supplies, so anything from like watercolor to like acrylic paint. I didn't really see any canvases, but I did see quite a few notebooks. If you're into scrapbooking, they had a plethora of like stickers and like papers and things like that. They had like every single crayon color that you can ever think of, pens, markers, little craft kits. And for the most part, things are either like where you can fill a bag and that's how much you pay, like based on the size of the bag, which they had 3 sizes. A like small sandwich bag was maybe like $3. A more like gallon size Ziploc bag was like $5, and then the Whole Foods / Trader Joe's size bags were $10. And for certain items, the majority of the items, they were just like fill a bag and that's what you pay. For other items, they do actually have like a price per whatever. So check it out. Now let's get into my haul. When I stopped in here, it was very much so on a very random Saturday. I was about to be babysitting my cousin, but I had a little bit extra time, so I was like, you know what? I'm literally right down the street. Let me pop in here. That being said, I knew that I was going into a season, the season I'm currently in, where I'm working on my spring/summer my spring/summer collection. So I was looking for some weight 3 and weight 2 yarn that could be turned into clothing pieces for that. Another thing is that I've been wanting to get into markets and doing more like pop-up type things where I actually am creating inventory and like selling in person and stuff. So I wanted some yarns that I could use to, you know, turn into bags and accessories and things like that. And a secret third thing is my NYGC handbags, which you can kind of see right here, for the most part are on hiatus, except for my NYGC shoulder bag, because I want to figure out the best material for the like handbag style that doesn't pill too much. If you know much about needlepoint and yarn, static and pilling and all that type business. So I'm currently on the hunt for like the perfect material for the handbag tote bag style, and I thought this might be a good place. But okay, I'm done rambling. This is everything I got. The first thing that I saw that made me think, yeah, I'm coming home with something, because initially I was like, okay, like I'm just gonna do like the little $5 gallon size thing because I have plenty of yarn. But then as I kept looking at the buckets and I kept seeing more things, I was like, I kind of want that. I was like, okay, wait, actually, let me just do that little $10 bag. So the first thing that made me realize I need a $10 bag was this. This is what I believe to be sunflower from Karen 1 Pound. I only know that because this is a color that I work with quite a bit, between the Red Heart version, which is like saffron, I believe, and the Karen 1 Pound version, which is sunflower. Definitely great for my various crochet bags. Then I saw this, which is a ribbon yarn. It's 100% cotton. That was another thing that I was hunting for in my sort of yarn low buy. I'm trying to bring in less acrylic and more natural fibers. So when I saw this, I was like, ooh, slay. And I think that it's thin enough that I can use with my needlepoint and maybe try to make a bag or two with this. Like I said, it's 100% cotton. I think it's called spaghetti, but who knows? Then I saw this. This once again is 100% cotton, 328 yards. And it's Ironstone Warehouse, whatever that is. But I really love this like minty color, and it's like kind of like gives hand spun vibes because all of the like lengths aren't the same thickness, but for the most part it is like a weight 3-ish. It doesn't say, but I would say this kind of like a weight 3-ish. Then I saw these two cuties. They didn't have much information. Like for most of these, I'm guessing about what the fiber contents are, but I've been around enough yarn to kind of get a gauge. So these I'm thinking are acrylic, but I think they would make for really cute bags. So I picked them up. They're this cute little butter yellow color. Along those same lines, I saw this butter yellow yarn. This is closer to a weight 3, so I could definitely use it in my NYGC swim collection. I do think this is also acrylic, but different and larger quantity. It's also softer, so I would definitely use it for clothing. This is something I hear about a lot. The girls do be talking about Peaches and Cream, which is like a budget version of Lily Sugar and Cream. I've never used either. This is 100% cotton. It's a weight 4, and I want to try it on my bags to see if the cotton will pill less. I personally don't love the texture of this particular cotton, so I would not personally make a crochet wearable out of it, but I do think it could make for a good needlepoint piece. I am not Red Heart's biggest fan. No, I'm not. I'm not. I'll admit it, I'm not Red Heart's biggest fan. However, when it comes to a bag, my crochet both like bow shoulder bags and market bags, sometimes you need just like a regular yarn. And so between this and Karen 1 Pound, I do actually quite like it for that purpose. This is the Gray Heather Super Saver Jumbo. And yeah, I don't know. I think it'll work for what I need to. Oh, this beautiful blue weight 3 yarn. I think this is acrylic, but I truly don't know what it is. But I feel like it'll make for a very cute bikini top or some sort of crochet top for NYGC swim. Then this beautiful cake of cotton. I believe that either this is straight up 100% cotton or this is one of the Karen cotton cakes, which are 60% cotton, 40% acrylic, I believe. Either way, I got it because I think it'll work well with my needlepoint purses. This one is really soft. I don't know what this is, but I need to know what it is. I've felt Egyptian cotton yarn before and it kind of gave this vibe. It like has a slight elasticity to it. This would honestly be really cool for a swimsuit, I could imagine, but it would also be cool if I could needlepoint with it. I don't know. I'm going to have to bring this to a local yarn store and see if I can match it up with any of the fibers, because I really like what's going on here. I think it would make for something really breathable, and if I were, I do hope to eventually, but if I were to move my crochet clothing over to natural fibers, I want it to feel like this. Then I got this, which is a ribbon yarn. This isn't necessarily in my particular color palette, but I thought it was cool and I think a customer could find it really cool. And I've already needle pointed with a ribbon yarn like this, so I know that it's nice. This was kind of random, but it's in my color palette, the yellows and stuff. This is actually hair yarn, like yarn that you could make box braids and stuff out of. However, my crochet brain was like, is that weight 3 yarn? I think these are the same color. This is Paint Box Sunshine Sorbet. I don't know what it's called, but I think they're kind of similar, no? I'll report back. But yeah, I think that I definitely can crochet with it. I haven't taken out the package to know what it feels like, but it can't be too bad. I don't know. Last but not least, I picked up some ribbon. That's been my newest needlepoint fan fave fanatic thing, is needlepointing with ribbon. It's just perfect because the ribbon doesn't pill, so I can make my shorter bags, and even with it being so close to your fabric, they stay pristine. So a little bit of orange ribbon. That is everything I got. I cannot recommend enough that if you are in Atlanta or Tucker, Georgia, you should 1000% check out Scrap Atlanta. They do accept donations. They work fully 100% off donations. The one thing that at least the one in Adair Park told me is that they prefer that crafters bring in no more than, they prefer that crafters only bring in one bag at a time, and they prefer if the bag is no bigger than a Whole Foods / Trader Joe's size bag. It is a pretty small space, so I fully understand that, well, you know, your mother-in-law who has that crazy craft room that you want to get your hands on to organize and maybe de-stash a few things, it might be easy to take a whole 18-gallon tote over to Scrap Atlanta. I would say we don't want to overwhelm our little Scrap Atlanta with our step-mother-in-law's donations. Anyways, I've been waiting to film this video so I can start using these things. I'm actually preparing for my first market. This video is coming out Monday, March 3rd. Oh my god. Monday, March 3rd, and my first ever market is Saturday, March 7th, I think. Yeah, March 7th. So I have exactly a week to prepare inventory that I currently don't have, and I will definitely be making use of my new Scrap Atlanta pickup. So please check it out. I hope you enjoyed this video. I will try to not make a habit of yarn hauling because, as you But if I do, it's nice to know that Scrap Atlanta is there for the girlies like myself. I was also extremely conscious of the fact that I am a crochet artist who also sells things, and so I definitely could have grabbed a lot more things, but I wanted to be very particular about things that I would actually not just use, but use within a decent amount of time, not just things that will like sit in my stash for like the perfect day, just because I could literally have cleared out the whole yarn section if I wanted to, but I'm not going to do that because that's rude. So also be conscious of that when you're thrifting yarn and whatnot. Anyways, that's it for me. I hope you guys enjoy this video. Let me know if you've ever been to a creative reuse store in your area. Let me know which of these yarns you would be interested in seeing a piece made up of, and I will see you in another video on Friday. Bye, girlies.